Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Block Thrasher Daily Crypto Update, bringing you the hottest cryptocurrency news of the day, bringing the stories that really matter so that you can stay informed. My name is Justin Cummins. It's Thursday, June 17th, 9:25, where I am here in the beautiful state of Idaho. Let's jump right in and take a look at what's happening with the markets. Currently, the total market cap is down just 0.2%, so we're going sideways at the moment. Volume is at 114 billion. Bitcoin dominance 43.8%. Ethereum dropping down in dominance to 16.9%. And Ethereum gas prices have stabilized at just around 30 way, basically. Bitcoin is struggling to regain the $40,000 price. It is currently 38,931 with almost no movement in the last 24 hours. Ethereum, same story. 2,403 currently, almost no movement. Binance Coin is up 2.5% in the last 24 to $355, and Cardano is stuck as well at $1.50. Dogecoin also no movement, 30 cents. XRP up 2.6% to 85 cents. Yes, Polkadot 0.9% increase in the last 24 hours, $23.25. There is not much happening in the market currently in regard to prices. One standout, though, is Solana at number 13, up 7% in the last 24 hours to $40.22. And Theta Network is doing quite nice as well, 8.6% increase in the last 24 hours to $9.39. We're also going to look at cryptocompare.com. If you're not aware of cryptocompare.com, it provides a lot of cryptocurrency data and analysis similar to CoinGecko.com or CoinMarketCap.com. You can visit that site at cryptocompare.com. They do some nice things on the site. Some of their layout is a little bit different from CoinGecko and CryptoCompare. One of the things that I like is they actually sort by top tier volume. So what you see when you first land at their site is the trading volume that is currently happening. So you know which coins are being very actively traded on this day. Obviously, Bitcoin being number one, Ethereum coming in at number two, but then here's where things change up a little bit from your normal market cap rankings. XRP is at number 3, so there's a lot of buying and selling going on with XRP at the moment. Binance Coin comes in at number 4, and Polygon Matic comes in at number 5, and then Polkadot number 6. And so even though Cardano at number 7 is above Polygon and Polkadot and XRP in terms of total market capitalization, in terms of volume, trading volume, it is below. Litecoin comes in at number 8, and then Chiliz, number 9. People are trading Chiliz today. And then, of course, Binance USD. So over here, you can also sort by market cap, which if you want to see your normal ranking, that's what you have to do. You have to click on the market cap link or button, and then it will sort by that. And also you can sort by volume and other things as well, price, etc. All right. So the reason I mentioned that today is because our first news item has to do with this crypto compare analysis company and website. VanEck subsidiary has invested in the UK analytics startup Crypto Compare. British crypto analytics startup Crypto Compare has secured a strategic investment from MV Index Solutions, MVIS, a subsidiary of New York-based asset manager VanEck. The details of the investment were not disclosed, but a person familiar with the matter said it gives MVIS a significant stake in Crypto Compare. We are seeking to partner with leading firms in digital assets and blockchain technology and are happy to deepen that relationship by investing when appropriate, said Jan VanEck, CEO of VanEck. Crypto Compare sells real-time and historical data on over 5,000 tokens and more than 250 currency pairs to both institutional and retail investors. Its data APIs are widely used within the digital asset sector. The London-based startup has been working closely with MVIS on crypto index products since 2017, when it launched the MVIS Crypto Compare Digital Assets 100 Index. That index tracks the performance of the 100 largest digital assets and serves as a benchmark for other crypto indices. A lot of good information is available there. So check out cryptocompare.com. Moving on with another story of crypto adoption. According to recent research, a new study shows that crypto adoption in Australia has grown despite volatility concerns. According to a recent study compiled by finder.com.au, the most significant barrier to adoption in Australia are the risks associated with cryptocurrency. New research has revealed that 43% of Australians consider the volatility of cryptos as their primary deterrent to purchasing them, a 14% rise over the same response in a January survey. You know, it's interesting because I don't know why people are scared about volatility. I understand traditional financial advisors and the like would be concerned about volatility because they want to just see, they don't want to panic. They don't want to deal with the emotional difficulty that volatility can bring. However, any asset class that is nascent, like cryptocurrency, in which you're going to see huge gains, you're going to have volatility. With that risk comes the reward, especially for the early adopters. And so we're just not there yet. Anyway, moving on with the story, 32% of respondents would rather purchase stocks or save money, while 25% believed cryptocurrencies were overpriced. Moreover, since the beginning of the year, the proportion of Australians who feel Bitcoin is overpriced has increased by 9 percentage points. Not that quite surprising from what I understand about Australia. A lot of the people there would typically have a higher level of trust in their news media, which obviously anybody who puts more trust into the news is going to have these types of sentiments towards cryptocurrency because of the constant barrage of FUD that is pushed out through traditional news media. Hurdles. Another big stumbling block for Aussies is figuring out how to acquire crypto assets, with 22% of respondents wondering where to begin. Reluctance to invest in digital currencies stemmed from a lack of understanding of what cryptocurrency is, 19%, on top of the assumption that it cannot be utilized daily, 18%. According to Finder financial expert Kate Brown, the risk remains the most significant hurdle to cryptocurrency adoption. Like with any investment, there are risks involved with cryptocurrencies, she told NCA Newsfire. And you know what's interesting about this? If you were to go and do a survey about stocks and any other investment, you'd have about the same level of response. People just don't understand them. People don't know how to purchase them. People don't know how to get involved in them. In fact, what's interesting, though, about it is that cryptocurrency is actually becoming easier and easier and easier, and I think will end up being far easier to utilize and invest in than traditional investment vehicles, because typically you need a broker or a manager of some kind to enter into those kinds of things. Sure, you can jump on Robinhood now, or you can use TD Ameritrade or something like that. However, cryptocurrency is about the tech and is about simplifying it. And so we're starting to see mobile phone wallets that are integrating DeFi and all these sorts of things, and the onboarding from fiat into crypto becoming increasingly easier over time, to the point where I think it is going to. And then the other, let me finish the thought. You all know I have that habit. I want to move to the next thought without finishing the previous thought. But I do think it is going to become so seamless eventually and so integrated within activities within people's lives that that issue is going to go away. An example would be the story that we read just yesterday about Travala.com integrating with Ethereum and Binance to create an Airbnb type of service that will also integrate a crypto within it. And so as these types of things start to happen, people use applications that they're already familiar with. Somebody needs to do this with the delivery of food, as I was mentioning, and other services where people can hire people. And that's happening as well. Freelancers and all sorts of things like this, and then pay them in crypto and receive crypto and that sort of thing. So we will see this happening where it will get integrated. And we see that is already happening with the younger people, as this analysis from this research and this recent survey shows. Crypto is growing among young adults. Based on the survey, the volatility turned off more than 50% than women, more men, 50% than women, 37%, which is interesting because I've seen other surveys that have showed the opposite, that it's usually the women that are more apprehensive toward coming into crypto. In any case, according to this research, 50% of men were concerned about the volatility, while only 30% of women. Nevertheless, the review's overall findings indicate that cryptocurrency is becoming more popular among Australians, particularly Generation Z. Almost a third of that generation own Bitcoin, a proportion that has more than doubled since January. Furthermore, 1 in every 6 Australians, 17%, currently owns crypto, a 5 percentage point increase since the beginning of the year. In contrast, another 13% indicated they did not possess digital currencies, but intended to purchase them within the following year. So it's just interesting to see what's happening with the cryptocurrency adoption around the world. That's one of the great things about crypto, of course, is obviously for those of us who are in the US, we tend to be US centric and not paying as much attention to what is going on around the world. But the beautiful thing about cryptocurrency is that when you are invested in crypto, it does give you exposure to what is going on around the world. And you're not just subject to the flows of the US market. Moving on to the next segment. World Bank. The World Bank cites this as a Bitcoin issue. So the World Bank has rejected El Salvador's request to implement Bitcoin as legal tender. Actually, what they rejected was the request to help El Salvador implement Bitcoin as legal tender. No surprise here, right? This is only to be expected. Like, this is news. Really, this isn't news. All right. The decision was taken in light of the negative, this is what they stated anyway, the negative environmental effects of Bitcoin mining and transparency drawbacks, as noted by the World Bank. As per reports, a spokesperson from the World Bank stated in an email, while the government did approach us for assistance on Bitcoin, this is not something the World Bank can support given the environmental and transparency shortcomings. Yeah, sure. I'm sure there's ideological fundamental reasons far more significant than environmental and transparency shortcomings, but this is an easy out. You know, it's interesting. I wish somebody would do some research on what the environmental impacts of the creation of fiat currency is around the world, in the printing of it, in the distribution of it, in the creation of it, and all the tech servers and everything that are used to run it. But we have no idea, and we never will, because of all that information is not going to be made public in any case. However, the World Bank has offered assistance in other ways and included currency transparency and regulatory processes. Salvadorian Finance Minister Alejandro Zelaya said the country had successfully negotiated with the International Monetary Fund about the same. This is interesting. However, just last week, the IMF pointed at the macroeconomic, financial, and legal issues with the country's adoption of Bitcoin. Zelaya, however, brushed the criticism aside and said on Wednesday that the IMF was, quote, not against the implementation of Bitcoin. Very interesting. As the World Bank and the IMF remained apprehensive of Bitcoin, it was not something unexpected to the Bitcoin and crypto community. Of course, CSO of Blockstream, Sam Mao, noted on Twitter, others called it ironic for the World Bank to provide help when it allegedly caused the problem. Max Kaiser of BTC Capital stated, spokesperson of IMF Gary Rice said the adoption of Bitcoin posed various concerns and required a, quote, very careful analysis. Investors were demanding a higher premium to hold Salvadorian debt on growing concerns over the completion of the IMD deal, which was key to patching the budget gaps through 2023. President Nayib Bukele's Bitcoin bill received great support from the Bitcoin proponents across the globe, but it was met with equal criticism. The concern mainly lingered around the ultimate collapse of the economy, and that would be the risk the country may have to carefully analyze and act on. While El Salvador remains surrounded by concerns from global financial authorities, it received support from Bitcoin businesses and supporters to provide aid in the form of Bitcoin ATMs. From declaring Bitcoin as a legal tender to integrating it into the everyday life of citizens, the Salvadorian government will have a long way to go. However, could this set an example for a Bitcoin economy? Only time will tell. So it's very interesting that El Salvador is stating, or Zelaya of El Salvador is stating that the IMF wasn't necessarily opposed. It would be interesting. I'd like to see a statement from the IMF itself, just to be sure that there wasn't some sort of misunderstanding happening there. But, you know, this points to something very interesting. Why do these countries like El Salvador, why do they even deal with the World Bank or the IMF? And, you know, clearly, obviously, it has to do with the fact that they're trying to get financing, as the article stated, to help patch up the budget holes, because like all governments around the world, they are wanting to spend more money than they actually have. And these smaller countries or these countries that do not have their own central bank or their own currency and that are now utilizing the US dollar and using now Bitcoin, they have to actually come up with the money to fund the things that they do. They can't just create it ex nihilo, out of nothing, as the US and other major countries do. Also interesting, another story about some, not directly government, but related. The U.S. Republican House Committee is accepting crypto donations. Say what? The National Republican Congressional Committee, NRCC, has begun soliciting donations in cryptocurrency the first of its kind to do so. The NRCC is a campaign arm of the Republican Party, working to elect candidates to the United States House of Representatives. This move makes the NRCC the first national party committee to solicit crypto donations. While the first party committee to do so, several federal political candidates have accepted crypto donations in the past. So we've had candidates, but not the actual party. However, the Federal Election Commission has expressed concerns over how cryptocurrencies relate to federal transparency and disclosure rules. Like other political committees soliciting crypto contributions, the NRCC will gather identifying information from all individuals making donations via digital. Yeah, so you gotta laugh. I mean, what in the world? The Federal Election Commission, like when people donate dollars, so frustrating. It's just this constant, negative statements. There's a simple solution. And the NRCC said, we're going to take the people's information, right? So this is going to be what? Know your donator? KYD? It really isn't that difficult. It's no different than what they have to do now, right? I mean, if someone donates cash, what they're ultimately, it's so funny because they're admitting they have access to people's bank records and banking accounts, because if there was any measure of privacy, when you donate it in cash through your bank account, they shouldn't know who it is or who it's coming from, right? Unless the NRCC collects that information for regulatory compliance. Does the Federal Election Commission, this raises the question, does the Federal Election Commission have access to those banking records to prove who the donations came from? I suppose the idea being that they could subpoena that information. Anyway, all of this balking that comes from some of these regulatory agencies just continually demonstrates how they want to obliterate all privacy and trust. They do not trust. They do not want to have to trust. They do not want to give us the privilege or the right even of forcing our government to trust us as was originally intended. That the NRCC making this decision is only neutral given its leadership. The NRCC chairman, Rep. Tom Emmer, is also a co-chair of the Congressional Blockchain Caucus. Interesting. As well as a member of the House Financial Services Committee. He has advocated for the IRS to ease regulations on cryptocurrency donations to charitable groups. Crypto donation processing. How does it happen? Upon receiving the donations, the crypto will immediately be converted into dollars before entering the NRCC's account. This means that the committee never actually takes possession of the donated cryptocurrencies. This enables it to bypass a regulation limiting individual political donations of cryptocurrencies to $100 per year. By converting the crypto to dollars, the NRCC can still accept individual donations up to $10,000 per year. The NRCC will process the donations using the payment processor BitPay. So there you go. They're using a third-party processor, BitPay. And if the the Federal Elections Commission wanted to get the information, they could subpoena BitPay and get that information, right? BitPay booms. By enabling the National Party Committee to accept crypto payments, BitPay is expanding into politics as well as business. BitPay has experienced a growing demand for its services over the past year as businesses scramble to jump on board. In March, BitPay began facilitating crypto payments for luxury hotel chain Kessler Collection. The next month, the platform started providing its services to online retailer Newegg, as well as workspace sharing platform WeWork. BitPay CCO Sonny Singh highlighted how his business was booming in light of the increased demand for crypto payment capacity. My phone is now ringing off the hook every day of companies now wanting to accept crypto, he remarked. So things are looking good for BitPay. That might be a company to keep an eye on. Okay, friends, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to wrap this up now. Oh, we forgot the word of the day. Let's just do that really quickly. Word of the day is prolethalamion. Prolethalamion. Prothalamion means a song or poem written to celebrate a marriage. Prothalamion, spelled Prothalamion. So, if you plan to be married soon, maybe someone can create a prolethalamion Prothemion for you. Prothemion, a song or poem written to celebrate a marriage. Have a good day, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. See you.